Lifehouse is that point of entry where individuals come, and if they're looking for a meal, if they're looking for a place just to get out of the elements, depending on the time of year, they can come to Lifehouse. So by virtue of its name, we take care of the basic necessities of life.
Includes our meals that we serve 3 times a day for anyone in the community, as well as our emergency shelter for men. And that's also the time that we connect with them to talk with them about wanting to make real change in their lives.
And so it's the first place where they start to hear a word of hope or an expression of love from someone that tomorrow can be different from today.
The reason people come to the rescue mission varies. It goes from guys that have, just gotten in a fight with their wife and they need a place to sleep, or guys that have been on the streets for years and never been able to humble themselves enough to come into an emergency shelter.
I had scared myself because about a month before I got here, I'd done quite a bit of drinking, and I knew that that was not the thing to do for me.
I was at one point suicidal. They saw I was scared because I felt like I had no other option.
I ran around town dope sick for 4 days and wound up in Parkview Hospital. A cop came and picked me up and brought me here to the rescue mission the next day.
There's a commonality in what happens with them as they each come through that east door. And as we're having opportunity to talk with individual persons who find themselves in a homeless crisis, we're getting opportunities to break down what's going on in their life beyond, I just don't have a place to live.
I had no intention of coming into a long-term program, but I did have intentions on living.
We have a term that hope begins with a meal. However, it's also an opportunity to build trust with somebody.
For the last 2 years, all I've done is eat fast food, and the food here tastes like Mom's cooking.
Folks get to come in and be a part of family, and they get to be engaged in a way that does deliver hope into their life.
A lot of the folks that we serve may not be homeless, but they're struggling financially. And then, of course, the individuals that are homeless, they're facing some challenges.
They'll basically say, hey, I have nowhere to go, this is my first time, or I've been here before, I just still am struggling out on the streets, and I need a place to stay.
I spoke to Pastor Sharon on the phone, and it was something in her voice that convinced me that this is where God wanted me to be.
When they come and check in, they get a 14-day stay initially, and then they get a life coach during those 14 days that help them be able to figure out if they need to get an ID, birth certificate, things like that.
We want the men, when they're here, to see that there's hope, to see that there's life beyond that brokenness, beyond the addiction, beyond the mental illness, and that there is a way for their life to change if they would just allow us to help them.
All the programs here are all bent toward getting you a job and getting you back into society with no problems.
I think that I could be in normal society again. I think that I could live without drugs and alcohol, and I think I could help other people.
You gain a relationship with these guys realizing they've lost it all. They've lost their families, they've lost their jobs, they've lost their homes, they've lost everything they've ever worked for, they've lost.
When I think about how our Lifehouse staff works with the men that come to Lifehouse, I'm amazed at how they partner with that individual and they go through a process of self-discovery.
We're here to stand with them. We're here to stand behind them and to lift them up and to help them take, a step of faith that coming into the rescue mission is a good decision to make, and that it can have life-changing impact for them.
Without Lifehouse, Fort Wayne would not have the ability to address the needs of the poor and the homeless who roam the streets day in and day out.
And there would be many more people on the street getting picked up for vagrancy, getting picked up for drugs.
I think there would be even more crime than we do have currently, because people in desperate times do desperate things.
I'd probably be either dead or in jail right now if it wasn't for the rescue mission.
Without Lifehouse, Fort Wayne, for its homeless community, would be an incredibly more challenging place to live.
there's that love, that unconditional love that, you know, when you read about Jesus in the Bible, you know, sometimes it's an abstract thing, you know, but you see Jesus' love through these people here, and staff and the residents too.
The rescue mission helps give those people a place where they can come in, get their heads together, and the best part, get their faith together. It's kind of like when Christ said, I want my church to be a rock. I want it founded on a rock. Well, this is the rock of Fort Wayne.